Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Padma Seshadri Balabhavan Group of Schools has carved a niche in the educational landscape of India and has a proud history that spans over 60 years. Listen to our notable alumni echoing their impactful experiences, soaked in reverence and gratitude to the legendary educationist, their loving Big Miss, Dr. Mrs. YGP, and her team of dedicated teachers. We are extremely happy that PSBB is coming out with a new video series of nostalgic interviews titled Our Glorious Aluminus. Each episode of this series will unfold our proud alumna and alumnus of PSBB, sharing their experiences at school and how these unforgettable moments shape their lives. We hope this series flashes a spotlight on PSBB's rich annals that will inspire us to rededicate ourselves to our glorious past and move towards an even more glorious and radiant future. We hope that you would enjoy listening and watching these episodes as much as we would. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Our Glorious Aluminus. This is the show where we bring to you the stories of some of the wonderful alumni of the PSBB group of schools. I'm your host Venkesh Srinivasan, and for today's episode we have a very, very special guest with us. It's a guest who I really need not introduce because she's familiar to all of you. She's an amazing singer. She's a trained Carnatic vocalist, Hindustani classical vocalist, and a Western classical singer. You've probably attended her concerts. You've probably seen her as a judge on reality singing shows. Please welcome Anuradha Sriram. Hi Anuradha, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Namaste. It's such an honor to be back in your own school, and being featured in this special interview that you're doing. And it's lovely to meet my junior.
Yes. We were 8 years apart in the school, so it's wonderful to meet you from the 87 batch. 12E, I know, I checked it out, the science section in PSBB KK Nagar. Tell me, what are your first memories of Padma Seshadri at the school, attending school?
School definitely is the teachers, was YTP ma'am for sure, Hamsa Ramdas, and I think Geeta ma'am and Malati ma'am, my class teachers, and Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, Kamala ma'am who taught me music in school, and Simon sir.
Of course.
And, all the practical, the lab sessions and, the teachers, because they were the ones who influenced me in a very, very big way. And so I guess it's the teachers at first. And YTK ma'am in a big way because to this day, I think I still have that letter she wrote to my parents.
Okay.
This was when I was in 10th standard. She wrote a letter saying, not everybody is talented in unique ways. And each child has its own uniqueness. And your child is such an asset to our school. And what she's won so many prizes for us. Her music is something that we are very proud of. So don't bother about marks and attendance as for now. And don't put pressure on her. In today's world where I think the school puts a lot of pressure on the results that are achieved in terms of academics and marks and grades, here is a principal who tells my parents, please don't put pressure on the child. And she says only if you support her, she's going to be able to, pursue this, which is a very unique career. Not everybody is going to be a musician. So don't worry about academics, we'll take care of.
That is amazing. That's actually a life-changing
Absolutely.
what she did, right?
And I used to, I used to participate in so many school competitions or be out of school for so long that I didn't have enough attendance. I couldn't do the lab sessions at the right time. And so they would give me private lab sessions and private viva for even during the 11th and 12th. In fact, in 12th, I think I didn't write the midterm or even the quarterly or one of it. I only wrote the model of the final.
On the board.
Yes, on the board. I'm grateful to YGP ma'am and all the teachers, Hamsa, because she was backed by all these,
Good.
Hamsa ma'am and everybody from, the entire teaching staff was supporting me. And especially my music teachers, Kamla ma'am and Vijay Lakshmi ma'am. In fact, Tamil, I even today I'm in touch with Alumelu ma'am. I used to love Tamil because, subjects, how do we love subjects? It's when a person has passion for what they teach it with so much love and passion that you fall in love with what they teach. I may have never loved Tamil before, but when the way she teaches, I feel like, oh, I want to learn all this. What is there that makes it so wonderful for the other person that I want to know it? So I think it's that passion with which somebody taught a subject that makes you love the subject. And that's one of the reasons why I am still so passionate about music, I guess. I share that beautiful value that my teachers gave me.
So I wanted to ask you about that. So this love for music, when do you first remember it coming through, and what's the school context around?
I don't know. My parents say that I sang before I spoke. So I hope it's true. I mean, some parents always exaggerate when it comes to children. And school memory, singing in the assemblies every day.
Okay.
You know.
So you were that designated singer at the assembly.
And the Tuesday used to be the general assembly. So if at all somebody was late or something, I was always the stopgap thing. Okay, I know to part of I'm like, I used to sing. There were a few other students like that. So I think, that was my first memory of singing in school. The other very important memory was MBS choir.
Mm-hmm.
I think till 9th or 10th we had a music class.
Right.
I mean,
as part of one of the periods in the timetable. Yeah.
Not many schools do, because early music learning, because I don't know, music learning is a whole brain activity. It's both the left and the right brains are new. It's one of those few activities that engage both the sides of the brain. And when you do classical music learning, there is so many ways in which the networking happens. In terms of assimilating ideas, you understand subjects in very, very different ways, not just in one particular way. So I think for me, learning music at an early age meant it was easy to even master any subject, math, physics, everything. Yeah, because I think, when you learn a subject, your brain organizes it in certain ways. Music gives you multifarious ways in which you can organize data. And I think that's why learning classical music is very important. And the school saw that and made music learning a must.
Yeah.
And MBS choir was this M.B. Srinivasan sir who composed a huge number of patriotic songs and a lot of meaningful philosophical songs in different languages. And there used to be people from the MBS choir who came and trained us, Prema Srinivasan, I still remember very fondly. So many languages we learned in Bengali, Gujarati, Assamese, Bhojpuri, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. Today I have sung in almost like 15 to 16 languages in the film industry, and I think I owe that to my language learning and music learning in different languages in school. So it was, the sound was always familiar for me. When I sang a Hindi song or Gujarati, I've already done it, so it was never new. So I think that was an important memory, and it really contributed to my career.
That's great. So when you were in school growing up, say primary school, middle school, how did your what recollection do you have of your friends and batchmates from that time, reacting to you not being in class most of the time? Were they all very studious and you were the odd one out in the class?
There were others involved in cultural activities, though. I remember some from my class who Sriram and Sridhar, people, they were all part of a theatre group.
Okay.
We used to go to a lot of cultural fairs, even debate, elocution and debate I used to go.
Has always been
Yes, I used to be part of.
Oh, you were part of the elocution team as well? Wow.
So I'm really going to try. School, I would say I don't remember too much of the classes or, because I think my mind was always into music and the focus was primarily that. And I somehow, the class was happening and, I was an above average student. But after, in 12th, I was the best outgoing student and I topped in biology. My father said one thing that, music can heal more hearts than a doctor can. So I thought I had to buy it, I could only treat so many patients literally, but listening to music, and today when all around the world people say, there are some terminally ill patients who write to me saying that this particular song has helped me, really get better, even though probably I'm not going to get cured of it, but I find life still dealable, man. So I just feel touching so many hearts. I'm grateful that I made the choice to stay with music.
Cute. So, you spoke about a few things already, but what would you say are the few traits that you've picked up in your school which have stood you in good stead throughout your career, this, the very long and intense music career that you've had?
One for sure is this never give up attitude of, the teachers here. They don't, it's like you keep at something. It doesn't matter whether you achieve instant results or not, which is very important in today's generation. I feel that people invest energies and they want to reap the benefits of it immediately. I think anything that is long-standing requires a longer amount of being with it, a sadhana. I think that sadhana to stay with something for a longer period of time, just because you love it, and you will see the result at some point in time. That patience is something that the school taught me, the perseverance, the determination to be with something. Even relationships, relationships need the nurturing throughout your life. It's not about, okay, what do I get out of you? What do you get out of me? No, sometimes you don't get something out of a person, but you still invest that energies there, So I think these are values that was given to me in schools. And so,
Couple of more questions. Across your long career, you've certainly faced your share of challenges, your share of situations which must have made you really kind of do that extra bit to overcome it and succeed. Tell us maybe a little bit about some of those kind of situations and how, again, something that was inculcated in you in school helped you overcome some of those challenges.
Like I said, this determination, I nobody would believe if I said that I never dreamt of being a playback singer.
Right, of course.
I that was not, in school also I would sing a film song just because because Carnatic partner, then after some time they all get bored, So adhanal edana cinema paattu by hearing. I've never bought a single film song cassette to learn a film song. In my field, you were asking me the struggles. So I didn't expect to be in that field. I was like trained to be like an MS Amma or Brinda Mutta, my Kalyan Raman sir, my gurus, like that. But this industry is a different industry. It's a male-dominated industry in the sense that not many women are there. So when you go in a place where you're working and everybody is, other than the opposite gender, and then dealing with how they, and it's really scary when you go there sometimes. Initial years, I used to feel, and there are like people, director, the producer, the music director, there used to be 20 other people watching you sing. And then, sometimes even, after some time, even that you're like, yeah. And at those points in time, I used to think about the fact that, I have worked so much. My entire life is in music. I have done, music has been my food, breath, everything. I've woken up to music. I sleep with music. So I've worked so hard. Even if they say that this is not okay, that is not okay, I tell myself, so many of my eminent gurus, I was the apple of their eye, and there must have been something in me, Like if YGP ma'am believed that I was an asset to the school, then my music means something, So I would never
get disheartened.
Get disheartened or feel very disappointed with. I would say, I'm going to be here till I deliver what you want, So that was was an attitude that I developed from school, I would say. Like not just immediately getting disheartened or anywhere even, be it a recording with Even Raja sir is one of the most difficult to sing. But he gives you a line and he wants it delivered exactly the way he has it in his head. It's very tough. It's a big skill, because I can sing it the way I know to sing it, but that's not the challenge.
Right.
I have to sing it the way somebody else wants it, or somebody else's creativity is something I'm giving life to. That was a big challenge for me every time. And I learned a lot in that process. Thanks to every one of those music directors who made me slog to deliver what I had to deliver. And I'm grateful for that. And the other challenge was, I was one of the earliest to do a indie pop.
Yes.
That was the first, Senegal was the first to be featured in MTV as a Tamil.
That was breakthrough and a brave thing to do.
It was, I was very shy.
What made you to do something like that?
I think my husband, I have to credit him with that. See, I used to write lyrics. I used to compose. And so he said, like people in the West who are doing independent music, he said, why don't you sit and, because you're so good at others, songwriting and composing. And he said, why don't you do your own album? And so I was very shy and to be on stage and, act or dance. Today, if I don't even feel that the cameras exist, But the first time I did it, I had to be in a costume, I had to dance, I had to emote. And then my husband said, you may not have done these things, but when life gives you an opportunity to explore other facets of your abilities, why not? What's the harm in trying and doing it? And I started there. And then I was the earliest anchor for reality shows in the Tamil circuit. I did TVS Antapsari for 2.5 years, probably 96 or something. So then that whole public appearance and everything, it kind of really bloomed. But again, singing in school was an act. I acted as Auvayar in
a school play.
In a school play. Even today, YGP ma'am and YG Mahindra sir says, அப்படியே சுந்தராம்பாள் ஸ்டேஜில் பார்த்தா மாதிரி நீ எப்படி பாடி ஆக்ட் பண்ண அப்படின்னு. So maybe in terms of theatrics, somewhere all that has helped when I stand on stage and, emote or sing or...
One last question as we wrap up. So if you see kids today and parents today and the way they are channelizing their ambitions, their talents, and in a school like PSBB, where do you see that and what would you tell kids of today? Especially the ones like you who potentially have an aspiration to do something, let's say, non-academic.
Yes. Today, I think there are a lot of avenues for children in terms of career choices, if you're taking arts or... So, in that sense, yes, there is because you have your own platform if you start your own YouTube channel, and there is this whole digital world, not, that gives you scope to connect with anybody from here to, globally you can connect with any musician, you can collaborate with anybody. So in that sense, yes, it's a huge arena now, not unlike those days where there are limited ways where you can show your... yes, I think coming to parents, of course, see the parents need to encourage this, but at the same time, this result-oriented learning or success-oriented application is something that they can refrain from. I've been parts of many reality shows, and I feel being judged, at a very early age stops your learning process.
Right.
It's like, even as an adult today, if I have a criticism, if you do something and you ask me to comment about it, and I say this is not okay, or yeah, these are okay, but this is not, it does leave a mark on you, and it takes a long time to overcome that. At an early age, when children are being commented upon, and when there is less sensitivity on the part of the person who is commenting. See, there are very positive ways in which you can tell them if you do this in this way, but sometimes when there is a criticism which is a little strong, the child might find it very difficult to overcome that, especially when there are people who they idolize are commenting, because they're like, we look up to you, and then you say that it's not working, then it can be very tough. So it's the parents' responsibility to not let children be judged by other people before they're ready for the world. Today's times, it's more important for having value for values. You have to instill good values in your child, because I can't police my child constantly. it's important to instill what are good values. And to instill good values, it's not enough if the parent or the teacher just speaks about it. You have to live the talk. I, as a parent, have to believe in what I say. And if I shouldn't be looking at my stories, I shouldn't be doing what...
You have to demonstrate that yourself.
I have to live it, to say, for my child to say, yeah, my parents do that. So I think certain values which you believe in, you have to live that. And then the child sees that it has done you good and you are, it really helps you, and so they take it as something. And adolescent kids may not acknowledge it now, but I find both my boys now, they say, I'm glad you guys did that to us because otherwise we won't be what we are today. So I'm grateful for that. That value for values came from my guru, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and my other gurus in school, starting with Vajiki ma'am.
That is a wonderful thought. And on that note, thank you very much, Anuradha Sriram. Thank you for sparing your time, coming back to school, rekindling all those lovely memories. And we hope to see you back at PSBB very often from here on. So thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you. I mean, I'm really honored. I think everything I am today in terms of the person or the personality or whatever I do, I think so much I owe to school and my teachers who really influenced me. Thanks again. I mean, and it's remembering all this kind of reinstates my faith in everything that I've got from them. Every time you talk about something, it's telling yourself that these are important and you value it more and more. And that journey was, again, very beautiful for me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your beautiful journey with us, Anuradha. Thank you very much.